One of the common incidents you hear about in the news is a compromised S3 bucket. And this is usually because of permissions that were overly permissive. And the AWS template that has been provided for this scenario is a very helpful resource for you to build your incident handling procedures in order to deal with this kind of a thing when you become aware of someone accessing information that they shouldn't have. The first thing that you would do is gather up the evidence. You might use your IAM access analyzer in order to look at the permissions and settings for your buckets to understand what was allowed and when. You might look at your CloudTrail logs in order to understand the events that occurred and understand the timing of those things happening. The next thing that you do is you contain the incident. If there were credentials used associated with your account, you might disable those. You might make changes to your access control lists in order to block any further access to this bucket while you're still investigating the activity. You move next to the phase of eradicating, and this might be a decision where you have to terminate the instance. You would have to decide what impact that would have to your application and your operations, but that might be one of the things that you do in order to eradicate what happened is by going back to one of your previous versions of your bucket. This is part of the recover phase if you're using S3 versioning in order to go back to the way it was supposed to be as opposed to some change that maybe happened maliciously. And then your final step is to learn from this, conduct a postmortem and understand, do we need to change our procedures when we roll out new applications, new services? Do we need to have further checks in order to make sure that our buckets are configured the way we expect them to be and we're not allowing people to have access to files or resources without ensuring that they are authorized to do so? Be sure to check out the template link below and see if you can put it to good use in order to develop your incident handling procedures.